Thank you, Carmen Balber. I'm the Executive Director of Consumer Watchdog. And I just want to draw a fine point on the fact that nearly everything that was in the Accountability Act that Mr. Watkins finally put down in writing for you, because you haven't done that work, and is in the Patient Bill of Rights, which we provided you this week, and we're outside your board meeting providing you 8 years ago, are things that you have heard from every single patient who has testified either in person or remotely to this board. You have heard them testify in those 2 multi-hour hearings last year when the board was under investigation, in the prior year for the Sunset Review. These are not new ideas. These are questions, concerns, and requests that the public has made of you year after year after year. So this is not a surprise. Mr. Watkins just wrote it all down for you, like patient advocates have done for years in the past. These requests are simple. Many of them you could approve today. Increased transparency for patients. So for example, when a doctor has a repeat history of harming someone and is under current investigation by the board, his current patients have a right to know that. That would have protected one family who testified here today. Another example is a simple consumer right to a voice in the process. Interview complainants before you dismiss their complaint. It's not a hard concept to make sure you have all of the information before you decide to just take the doctor's word for it and close a complaint, and provide adequate enforcement so you don't go to the Attorney General's office with a recommendation that a doctor lose their license for negligently killing someone and end up with a letter of reprimand. There is no sense to a movement like that. So each of these things has been before the board for years. I think what you're hearing from the public is that it's time. There is no more time for debate. It's time for this board to listen to the public, hear these calls for change, and actually do something. So if you don't want to adopt word for word from what Mr. Watkins wrote down, or word for word the Patient Bill of Rights that we've been submitting to you, talk about these concepts, decide what you can put in the Sunset Review today, and move forward, because there's no more time for debate. Patients are dying. It's the reason that you had 2 multi-hour sessions of the Sunset Review, because even the legislature recognizes that you're not doing enough. It's the reason you're back after 2 years instead of 4, because the legislature decided they could not wait for you to tell them how you were reforming your process so more patients don't die. Thank you.
Thank you. I have Madeline Weisner next.